with her teammates. Number 2, Ella Horn. Next, number 8, forward, captain Ava Leitenberg. Ava's parents are Sarah and Carrie. After graduation, she plans to attend a 4-year university and run track. Ava's favorite soccer memory is winning nationals in Colorado with her club team. Number 8, Captain Ava Leitenberg. Next, forward, number 10, Kylie Weisendonner. Kylie's parents are Ty and Julianne. After graduation, Kylie plans to attend a 4-year college. Her favorite soccer memory is scoring the equalizer in the last few minutes of the state game. Number 10, Kylie Weisendonner. Number 11, midfielder Macy Bray is next. Macy's parents are Laura and Kevin. After graduation, she plans to attend a 4-year university and study kinesiology. Her favorite soccer memory is going to state with her team last year. Number 11, Macy Bray. Next, midfielder number 12, Audrey Siljan. Audrey's parents are Paul and Karen. After graduation, she plans to attend a 4-year university, and her favorite soccer memory is going to nationals in Colorado with her club team. Number 12, Audrey Siljan. Next, defender, number 13, Isabella Fall. Isabella's parents are Chad and Kiri. After graduation, she plans to attend a 4-year university. Her favorite soccer memory is winning nationals in Denver last summer with her club team. Number 13, Isabella Fall. Next, midfielder, number 14, Olivia Ehrenberg. Olivia's parents are Dan and Tracy. After graduation, she plans to attend college and study business and real estate. Her favorite soccer memory is winning the USA Cup a few years ago and traveling to out-of-town tournaments with her team. Number 14, Olivia Ehrenberg. Next, defender, number 16, Kate Cron. Kate's parents are Nathan and Christine. After graduation, she plans to attend a 4-year university. Her favorite soccer memory is winning nationals with her club team and going to state last year for high school. Number 16, Kate Cron. Next, forward, number 17, Courtney Bumpers. Courtney's parents are Terry and Jamie. After graduation, she plans to attend a 4-year university and major in commercial aviation. And her favorite soccer memory is swimming in the ocean with her friends after a soccer game in San Diego. Number 17, Courtney Bumpers. Our next senior is Riley Stones. Riley's parents are Jason and Kelsey. After graduation, she plans to stay nearby and continue her studies and may continue playing soccer. Her favorite soccer memory is beating Rosemount and her last year of club soccer with her best friends. Number 17, Riley Stones. Next, captain, forward number 18, Josie Seehafer. Josie's parents are Lori and John. Josie's post-graduation plans are undecided at this time. Her favorite soccer memory is playing in the Youth World Cup in Sweden and beating Norway in Gothenburg Stadium. Number 18, Josie Seehafer. Next, defender, number 20, Angelina Illyria Yin. Angelina's parents are Andrea and Sofal. After graduation, she plans to attend St. Mary's in Winona to continue her athletic and academic career. Her favorite soccer memory is playing at the Gothia Cup in Gothenburg, Sweden. Number 20, Angelina Illyria Yin. Next, captain, forward and midfielder, number 24, Inga Jolstrom. Inga's parents are Eric and Logan. After graduation, she plans to attend a 4-year university and study agribusiness. Her favorite soccer memory is playing soccer in Amsterdam for a week at Ajax. Number 24, Inga Jolstrom. Our last senior is number 25, midfielder Mia Kosnick. Mia's parents are Terry and Amy. After graduation, she plans to go to Augsburg University here in Minneapolis, where she will continue to play soccer and study computer science. Her favorite soccer memory is getting her first varsity goal. Number 25, Mia Kosnick. Congratulations to our senior players on a successful soccer season and your accomplished soccer careers. And thank you, parents, family, friends, and students for coming tonight. Good luck to everyone in tonight's game. Congratulations to our seniors.
Sky is blue, the grass is green. Great day to be alive. Great day for high school soccer, and that's what we have for you here on ETV, coming to you live on the YouTube channel as well as cable TV from the campus of Eagan High School here in Eagan, Minnesota. The Eagan Wildcats in their last conference game, regular season game of the season, hosting the Apple Valley Eagles. The Wildcats looking for a potential conference title and a number one section seeding. The Apple Valley Eagles looking to build a program and give the Wildcats some real trouble here tonight. My name is Nathan Cron. I'm joined by my broadcast partner, Skip Newton, and an award-winning ETV crew and cast, and we will introduce those folks just a little bit later in this broadcast. But first, let me turn to my partner, Skip Newton. And Skip, the Wildcats come into this game with a lot of momentum. They've won some tough games recently against the Eastview Lightning and against some good opponents. Tonight, the challenge is a little bit different for the Wildcats, but they need to stay sharp heading into sections, and of course they want to claim a conference crown.
Yeah, absolutely. The defending conference and section champs, they are coming in, like you said, off a big come-from-behind victory on Monday night at Eastview. They were down 1-0 at half, came back to win 2-1. And really want to keep the momentum. And this is the final game before sections next Tuesday. And so while Apple Valley has struggled this season, it's been a challenge. Eagan needs to take care of business and not just win, but really they want to play sharp. Now is the time, early October, you have to be playing your best soccer.
Wildcats in their home blues with blue socks, blue shorts. We'll set your lineups here as the Eagles kicked off, moving to the north from right to left. So for the Wildcats, a familiar lineup with Cron and Fall at the center backs, Weissel at goal, Illyria Yin and Enning at the outside back positions, Jolstrom, Bray, and Siljan in the midfield with Seehafer, Leitenberg, and Weisendonner on the forward. Nice play there on the end. Could not see who that was. It was Schwartz who made a great run to the corner. This ball finds its way in towards the Wildcat penalty area before it's pooched out and finds Leitenberg. Leitenberg serves for Weisendonner. Weisendonner feeds Leitenberg through. Leitenberg might have an opportunity. Early chance here for Leitenberg. She's got one defender to beat. Good defender is running on her. Leitenberg shoots, spins. Von der Haar with a nice save. But great defense there by the Eagles. Von der Haar with a good save. Von der Haar pressed into service last year, was playing some forward for the Eagles. Good player, good athletic player, pressed into service in a goalie, as the Eagles last year against these Wildcats had a goalie injury. Von der Haar had to put on the goalie jersey and head to the back line. So we'll set your lineup here for the Eagles. It's Abbas, Teese, Woldemichael, Corey, Schwartz, Weisenberger, Carlson, Tizazu, Korakowski, Harper, and Von der Haar. And Elise Weisenberger is playing defense for the number 17 for the Eagles. I cannot wait to have a Weisendonner versus Weisenberger matchup on this field, Skip.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one to call, and really an interesting, impressive display defensively there on that last run by Leitenberg. We're so used to seeing Leitenberg just pull away from defenders because of her speed, and the defender there was not only able to match her step for step, but actually pull even and disrupt that breakaway opportunity. Really nice defensive play.
Early stages here, Wildcats and Eagles. Eagles team that has struggled this year, only one win this year for the Eagles. 3 draws, 11 losses. Wildcats on the other side of it, 11 wins, 3 losses, and a draw. Wildcats have locked up, almost certainly have locked up as Seehafer steps away. Weisenberger pushes Seehafer to the outside. Seehafer gains the outside, slides it across. Good internal defense, but this still not out of danger as Weisendonner sends that towards goal, but didn't really get much on that one. It's a shot on goal, but didn't trouble Von der Haar that much. The Wildcats have virtually locked up a number 1 seed in the Section 3-3A playoffs. I suppose a lopsided loss here combined with a big Rosemount victory, who knows, might change that, but I can't imagine it will. This ball gets fed forward for Leitenberg. She's going to make a run to the outside. And this is going to be off of Well, it's going to be off of Leitenberg, so says center referee Jason Tarkanian. Leitenberg making a bit of a motion there, suggesting that maybe that had come off the defender, but instead a goal kick will restart us.
Yeah, tough for us to see from this angle. That was on the far side of the pitch, but not a whole lot of arguing going on, so I suspect that was a good call. Want to do a shout out to the head coach of the Apple Valley Eagles, former Wildcat Rachel Knutson. And good to see her back. I'm sure there's some fond memories as she comes back to Eagan here. Many of the Knutson girls going through this program quite successfully from years long ago.
Well, Skip, we have the good fortune of having you having called the last game between the Lightning and the Wildcats 2 nights ago. So, can what you mentioned, the Wildcats came from behind, having a 1-0 deficit at half. What worked for the Wildcats on Monday night?
They struggled in the first half to really put a whole lot of opportunities together in that final third, and they corrected that in the second half. They picked up the intensity, and they were able to use that speed, as you would suspect, from the outside. That's typically where the Wildcats get their scoring, and it just became too much for Eastview, and they did a really nice job taking control in the second half. And once they got the lead, they never looked back and held on. It was well played, especially in the second half for the Wildcats. I would say the first half was pretty even.
Eagles control in the midfield. Now ball gets fed across. Opportunity for the Eagles. Some catch-up defense that time by Josie Seehafer, nicely done. This comes for Bray. Bray feeds this forward, and Leitenberg with a nice run. She's onside. She has an opportunity on her favored left foot, and she slides it just wide. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Ava Leitenberg will want that one back. She did everything right, just pushed it a few inches to the right.
We're so used to seeing that finish. When she delivered that, from our angle, I thought, okay, that's going to go right into the corner, just a little wide. And yeah, like you said, she's going to want that back. That was one you really need to finish a golden opportunity. And as you saw there, she did not get caught from behind this time.
Big step there by Siljan. Ball comes over, a couple of headers there by the Eagles defense. I want to say thank you to all of you watching from various parts of District 196. Good from Illyria Yin, looking for Seehafer, looking for Weisendonner, back to Weisendonner. And you can hear the groans of the crowd that say, oh, it's a great setup, and it just doesn't come off. Illyria Yin, though, changes direction. And we'll see if this happens again. Weisendonner serves that across, looking for Leitenberg.
It was a great run there by Seehafer. She's looking for that give and go. Didn't get it back, but moving to open space, moving without the ball, that's how you create scoring chances for yourself. That's the kind of connecting and the kind of movement both with the ball and off the ball that you want to see from the Wildcats in the attacking third. That'll create chances as this half continues.
Our viewers on here on ETV will remember the last time these Wildcats took on an opponent here at Wildcat Stadium. It was a double hat trick. A hat trick for Leitenberg, a hat trick for Seehafer, a 6-0 victory over the Farmington Tigers. And I think we'll call that a shot, and probably on goal for Macy Bray. But so a dominating performance for these Wildcats. And as they cruise towards the playoffs, and this is the last regular season game for this Wildcat team, you imagine they want to stay sharp, keep a clean sheet, score a bunch of goals, and have a good night here on senior night.
As we get ready for sections next week, do you think the girls need to win this game to ensure that number 1 seed? I mean, they're undefeated against section opponents.
Yeah, they're undefeated against section opponents, and all of the other the team immediately behind them has 2 losses in the section. That's the Rosemount Irish, and of course the Wildcats and the Lightning have beaten the Rosemount Irish, as we have a foul here against the Eagles. That's a handball violation, so the Wildcats will have a free kick from about 35 yards out. But I can't imagine that even losing this game would result in the Wildcats forfeiting their number 1 seed. I mean, crazier things have happened, but when they've beaten the Irish head-to-head, and the Eastview Lightning beat the Irish for 2 losses in the section, it would kind of seem reasonable to suspect that they would hold on to their number 1 seed. Leitenberg dancing along the far side. That ball finds its way to a defender's foot and into touch.
That was a nice decision there. I think Ellery Yin really threw off the Eagles' defense. Everyone was expecting her to give it back to Seehafer near side. She instead switches fields. I mean, Leitenberg wide open on the far side of the pitch. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite control it enough to do more with that ball. She had an opportunity there all alone.
Throw in the far corner. This one's going to get pitched in towards the penalty area. Seehafer lurking. Gets it down to her feet. She's going to try to unleash the shot. Sends it for Illyria Yin. Illyria Yin, edge of the box, and she's going to be in an offside position.
That flag was up for a solid 10 seconds there, so I think it was somebody on the far side well before it got to this side.
Yep. Opportunity for the Eagles as Wolda Michael puts it in play from the offside flag. So the Wildcats interested in what's going on down in Lakeville. Lakeville North, Lakeville South matching up. North would love to deny South the ability to claim a conference title. Plus, it's Lakeville North versus Lakeville South. Tell me that's not a heated rivalry. So if South were to lose or tie, and if these Wildcats win this game tonight, they will be repeat back-to-back South Suburban Conference champions. The only way that it can go south for the Wildcats is if they lose and Lakeville South wins. I am told by Athletic Director Jason Elias that the South Suburban Conference does not do tiebreakers at the top of the standings. So, in fact, the teams, despite the fact that Lakeville South defeated the Wildcats 1-0 earlier this season, they will officially share the title. If they end up tied. If they end up tied record-wise.
If both teams have the exact same result tonight.
Yes. Yep. Ball comes flashing through for Seehafer. Seehafer on side. She beats one defender. Vonderhaar out. Seehafer cashes in. That's a brilliant finish by Josie Seehafer. It comes here in the 11th minute. I did not see who served it over to her, Skip Newton, but that was an excellent Josie Seehafer, a classic Josie Seehafer finish, and you see that big smile. She definitely earned that.
Yeah, there was no doubt there. We've seen already 3 breakaways, 2 by Leitenberg, now 1 by Seehafer. She was in there clean, put it right where you want to do, on the ground, this time tucking it into the post closest to us. Just a great finish and a great run there by Josie.
And Audrey Siljan, senior midfielder, will get credit from that, according to production staff. Ending on the far side, slides that forward for Leitenberg. Leitenberg kept on by Weisenberger in the middle. Leitenberg trying to go around the outside, falls. And the referee says, no, there's contact, but no foul. So the Wildcats 1-0 to the good. As we refresh our Twitter feed and check on the score from Lakeville North versus Lakeville South, still no score there. This ball off of Weisendonner's heel. And in the last regular season game for these seniors, don't think that senior captain Josie Seehafer, senior captain Ava Leitenberg would love to tally another hat trick. Illyria Yin to the edge. Serves it across. That had some nice movement on it, Skip Newton. It was just unlucky that nobody in blue could get to it.
Yeah, she played that far post, and the run by, I believe it was Leitenberg, was just inside the far post, so a little bit over her head. Had she been coming from farther out and angling in, that would have been a really fantastic opportunity, because a great ball by Elleria Yin.
The Wildcat girls, in a little bit of a contrast to the Wildcat boys, Wildcat girls have relied upon some of their big shooters, if you will. Seehafer and Leitenberg and players like that to really get them a substantial majority of their goals. You know, players creating offensive opportunities like Illyria Yin, certainly to the good. Speaking of to the good, here's an opportunity for Siljan. And Siljan scores. Audrey Siljan on senior night gets one for the Wildcats. 13 minutes in, and that's 2-0 to the Wildcats.
A great finish there by Siljan. She really used her aggressiveness, put on some speed there to win that ball in the box, got it in about 12, 15 yards out, and once again finished on the ground inside the pole nearest to us. I mean, no chance for the goalkeeper there for Apple Valley.
Audrey Siljan, you see her there on your screen, the senior midfielder. Didn't start the season as a part of the starting lineup. Came off the bench, had to earn her time, and a testament to her stick-to-itiveness, her consistency that she has found a way. She has found a spot in this starting lineup for Coach Q. It's always good to hear success stories like that, where hard work is rewarded.
Assist to number 24, Inga Jolstrom.
Jolstrom with the assist.
13th minute. The time of the goal is 12 minutes.
So 2-0 to the Wildcats, and now the Eagles are on the wrong end of it, Skip Newton. In the last 8 games, they have scored a combined total of 4 goals. 8 games and 4 goals, and right now they're staring at a 2-0 deficit.
Yeah, it's going to be a magnificent mountain to climb for them. It's been a challenging season for the Eagles, and they know that this is a tough one, going against one of the top teams, certainly the top teams in the conference, and probably even still in the state. I think the Wildcats are going to be a team to beat in Section 3, and coming in with just one win and 3 draws on the season, you got to expect the fact that it's going to be a tough night.
Wildcats set up for their first corner of the night. Weisendonner, number 10, a senior with a left foot, 4 years of varsity soccer. She's going to put her into that, swing it in towards the goal. Good header away that time by the Eagles. Falls for ending on the far side. Attack to the outside. Check it, that's Ella Horn, not Enning. I'm sorry, apologies. And here's an opportunity, a rare foray forward for the Eagles. Cron's going to use her track speed and long legs to win that. And like a crafty senior, creates a throw in for her teammate. And so many of these girls on this Eagan Wildcats squad are stars on the high school track team. So Leitenberg and Seehafer, I know Leitenberg for sure. And a handball there against the Eagles. Leitenberg for sure has an all-state is a state champion. That ball's pitched up over the top. Nicely done. They've taken it quickly. Seehafer in. Seehafer with an opportunity. Slides it across. Oh, just trying to be too nice to her teammate as Seehafer tried to set up Leitenberg. She probably should have just gone to goal there.
Yeah, I love unselfish play in sports, but I think in this instance, she probably would have been just better off hammering the shot. I mean, she was wide open and had plenty of time. It was on her strong foot. I'm not going to fault her for trying to get her teammate a goal, but wow, that was a golden opportunity, and a credit to the Eagles defender for getting back and breaking that up.
As to finish the point as Leitenberg attacks the outside, the Wildcats have so Isabella Fall has run on the high school track team. Kate Cron has been a part of a 4x1 that's qualified for state. Seehafer has also been a 4x1 runner. So I mean, you've got a lot of incredible athletes out there in blue. Leitenberg tries to dance around the defense. Defense says no way. It punches that back towards Cron, who lays off for Jolstrom.
Nice job by Cron tying up the Eagles forward there. Not necessarily winning the ball clean, but there was no way the Eagles forward was going to get by her, and she had Jolstrom there to help out.
Injury back deep in the Eagles' end around the 20-yard line, so the referee's going to stop play as the ball was in the midfield. I don't think it's a serious injury as the player's up and able to walk off the field on her own power, and that is hard to see from the distance, but I think that's Tay Harper, number 25. I think she's checking out, so she'll be replaced here for the Eagles.
Substitution for Apple Valley into the game is number 8, Juliet.
Clock actually stopped with just over 23 to go here, first half.
I will say, though, Skip, taking that free kick quickly was crafty.
Yes.
I like how crafty that was, and the fact that it worked to give Seehafer an opportunity like that. I tell you, in the playoffs, that's the kind of thing that can help you win a game.
Yeah, set pieces are a really important part, and they become more important as we get into playoff soccer, where the quality of the opponent is going to continue to get better and better. The games obviously become of vital importance, and there's no such thing as a draw in sections. I mean, you need to win the game by scoring more goals, or if it comes down to penalties, kicks from the line in after extra time. Those set pieces can make a difference. I mean, if you put a good one together and you score a goal, that could be the difference between a loss and a draw, or a draw and a win.
We just saw Illyria Yin with closing speed that would rival anybody on the pitch. What a great job by her. She's small in stature, but plays with a mighty heart, to quote the Bard. And speaking of which, now the Wildcats dance away from the midfield to the side. Let's see what Josie Seehafer's got up her sleeve. She tries to slide that through. Now she pooches it over the top. Leitenberg's going to run onto it. She's going to use her right foot, and she's going to go to goal. Ava Leitenberg cashes in. Seehafer tried to set it up earlier. Leitenberg said, "No, I'm not going to try. That's not going to work for me." So Seehafer sets her up, and Ava Leitenberg cashes in.
Oh, a great pass by Seehafer, just going up and over the top after the first pass didn't connect, and it ended up coming right back to Josie. Goes up and over the top. This time, Leitenberg finishes. And the bottom line is, you give Ava Leitenberg that many chances, she's going to eventually put one home. I mean, she's too good of a finisher to continue to stay off the score sheet.
Well, Ava Leitenberg nicely done with the right foot this time. Her favored foot, of course, her left foot. But the Eagles, to their credit, back down into the attacking third. And a foul. Nope, not a foul, just a deep throw here for the Wildcats. Sorry, Skip?
Oh, I was going to say, a really nice job by Ellery Yin down there shielding that one and using her body to prevent possession for Apple Valley winning the throw.
Josie Seehafer in the 19th minute. The time of the goal, 18 minutes, 18 seconds.
Shot towards the Wildcat goal. We're going to call that a shot. Call it a shot on goal. First one of the game, and Maddie Weissel to the defensive pump. Nicely done by Weissel. She has, again, being a first-year varsity keeper, there's a lot to learn and a lot to figure out, and Weissel has, the last handful of games, has done a nice job with that. Certainly gives the Wildcats confidence that they can make a run. Oh, one beautiful 1-2 ball there. And Josie Seehafer decides, you know what, why not?
I would like to see that decision made more frequently when inside, 30 yards, and you've got it on your strong foot, and it's a well-controlled ball. You're not going to always get it down, inside the penalty area. You're not going to always get it down to the 6 where it's an easy tap-in goal or get a breakaway. Sometimes you're going to have to fire shots from farther out and either put one in or get a rebound and put one in. But I like that decision there.
Leitenberg to bumpers over to Seehafer. Seehafer's ball is deflected, and that will be a corner. So we've had a handful of substitutions. I thought it was going to be a corner, but Vandahar quickly off her line. I thought that was going out, but Vandahar said not today. Claimed it, but a bevy of substitutions here for the Wildcats. We'll get to those momentarily as Kosnick has checked in. Jolstrom with the ball now. Ehrenberg has also checked in. Riley Stones has checked in at center back. So good to see Riley on the pitch. And a foul here against the Wildcats. So free kick opportunity for the Eagles, a rare opportunity to really put this on frame and create some pressure on the Wildcats. Courtney Bumpers has also checked in.
On the kick will be Elizabeth Corey, number 10.
Corey with the kick. Sends it down towards Weissel. Weissel puts her body in front of it, knocks the ball down, and smothers it. Nicely done by Maddie Weissel.
There's a couple of shots, both times making the initial save, but did let the rebound come out. Now she's jumped on it both times, but that is something that she's going to want to be a little more careful of. Catching those clean. Do not give a rebound out that could lead to a goal. Something that that Maddie's going to want to clean up as we go into sections next week.
Ehrenberg leaves that for Horn. Horn sends that forward for Seehafer. Seehafer and Leitenberg have switched sides. Seehafer now occupying the far corner. She takes on 3 defenders. She hits a shot right on Vandahar. That was a wicked shot. Vandahar well positioned to stop that ball heading into the net, but Seehafer, a bit of a slow start statistically this season. Not scoring as many goals earlier in this season, but she has caught fire here in the last handful of games, and that bodes well for these Wildcats. Ball heads forward for Courtney Bumpers. Bumpers to the edge of the penalty area, dispossessed. Nicely done that time by Fowler, number 11 for the Eagles. Check it, that was not Fowler, number 11. That was Weisenberger, number 17. Speaking of, it's to the edge of the penalty area, drifts through, looks for Cron. Cron had a chance to kind of smother that, but didn't quite get to it. So Riley Stones is playing center back with Isabella Fall. Cron's been pushed out to the right side. Bumpers using her body. Again, Courtney Bumpers with some really good straight line speed, Skip, and she's the kind of player that if she's given an opportunity, she can beat you off the dribble as well.
Well, it's one of those nice pieces for Coach Q when you can throw a lot of speed at your opponent, right from the start with Seehafer and with Leitenberg, and then you go to the bench, and all of a sudden you bring in someone like Bumpers, and the speed is still there. I mean, you're still having to deal with that. There's no rest for that back line of the opposing defense.
Cron sends that in, looking for Leitenberg. Leitenberg back for Cron. Ball finds its way into touch. We'll try it again. Wouldn't mind seeing Cron try to heave one into the penalty area. Now she takes on a defender. She's to the edge. Now she slides it across. Good ball from Cron. Opportunity. What a cross. Still not out of danger. Horn shoots from distance. It's blocked, sent back out. Leitenberg on it. Good shot by Ella Horn from her outside back position. She was in an advanced position, but I loved how quickly she took that shot, Skip.
Yeah, she didn't hesitate, and that's what you have to do. You get that opportunity, you got to fire them on, and it was a good shot as the ball stays deep into Apple Valley territory. It allows those defensive players, especially the outside backs, to creep up and become part of that attack.
Well, we've seen Cron and Horn, the outside backs of this 4-back, sneak forward in part because they're seniors that wouldn't mind scoring a home goal, and also, secondly, because the Apple Valley Eagles just not producing a lot of offensive threat, despite having 2 shots on goal against Weissel, just have not created a consistent or sustained offensive threat that would pull the outside backs into a defensive posture.
Yeah, as we would suspect coming into this, the Wildcats so far, controlling play, controlling the game, both on the pitch and on the scoreboard. It'll take a lot for Apple Valley to get back in. You're going to have to generate more pressure than they have so far.
Good opportunity here for the Eagles. Horn smothers that, though. It was a battle between Tizazu and Horn. This ball falls for Bumpers. Bumpers slams on the brakes, goes around, keeps the ball, feeds that forward for Leitenberg. Leitenberg says, I wasn't sure where it was going. Comes back for Cron. Cron crosses that in. Nice swerve on that ball. This finds Jolstrom. And imagine she'll pull this back and reset. And she does.
Yeah, Cron was under pressure, at a girl right on her shoulder, did a nice job of making contact and directing it towards the penalty area.
Seehafer cuts to the middle, but ran into some traffic. Now the ball comes to the outside. Cron's going to have to hit the Jets. Stones to the defense. Riley Stones. Defense forces that ball towards Fall, and Fall will just watch this one harmlessly go over the end line.
Now, some great team defense there, and I remember this back from my playing days way back. We won't talk about the year, but when, as an outside defender, you get beat, and in this case, really, she wasn't beat. It was more she was pressed up and the ball got played behind her. Instead of trying to chase down the girl with the ball, one of the center backs came over, and she immediately ran to the center back position. So they switched positions. That's textbook team defense right there.
Back when you played soccer, Skip, did they have balls or did they use sheep's bladders back then?
You know, I'm not quite that old, but there's definitely been some changes in the game since I was actively on the pitch.
Speaking of changes, here comes Courtney Bumpers to the middle. She's going to lose this ball, but she's going to force the corner. So corner opportunity number 3 for the Wildcats here in this first half. I want to give a shout out to Sandy and Les Fall and Powers Lake and Harvey and Mary. Labs in Fargo. Thanks, Grandma and Grandpa. And Grandma and Grandpa, thanks so much for tuning in to ETV to watch your beloved Isabella. We all love her here. Corner comes in towards the Wildcats. It's played up in the air by Leitenberg. It's going to bounce. And let's see, it's not going to make it into touch. The clearance is off of the back of some Wildcat, and Vondahar jumps on it. That was a curious sequence.
And the Wildcats need to be a little more aware of what's going on. That ball did not go over the goal line. There was an opportunity there to go in and play it, but they had all just assumed that was going to go into touch.
Ball comes all the way across for Cron. Cron's got a chance to settle this ball down, and now she's under a little bit of pressure. Kicks it right into a defender, but fortunately for Cron, that the aforementioned Isabella Fall comes over and covers. Those two between club and high school soccer have been defensive pair mates for years. I have to say, as many games as we've called with those two at center back, I wouldn't say symbiotic, because they, every so often they can get their wires crossed, but for the most part, they know how to handle it. Speaking of knowing how to handle it, here comes Seehafer. She slams on the brakes. Now she starts again, attacks the edge. She's going to send that towards goal, and Vondahar with a big save. And we've got another, oh my goodness, we have another injury well back in the Eagan half of the field. This occurred as the Wildcats were breaking towards the Apple Valley goal. So we have an injury well back behind the play in the Eagan half. So we can update you certainly. At this point, we have no score from the Lakeville South, Lakeville North game. So right now, if the Wildcats, if they win this game, regardless of what happens in Lakeville, they will claim a share of the South Suburban Conference title.
Substitution for Apple Valley in the game, Amelia Duran, number 3.
Substitutions for the Wildcats, for the Eagles.
Number 22.
Clock has stopped with 11:30 to go while the Eagles tend to an injured player. It gives us a chance to recognize our award-winning ETV crew. This is our last home regular season game of the season. Of course, we do expect, for those of you who did not hear it on the boys broadcast earlier, we have got the go-ahead and the green light to broadcast the section playoff games. The Wildcats should have, assuming they make it to the section final, 3 of those home playoff games. So we would expect, Skip and I certainly expect to be back out here broadcasting throughout the playoffs. But we want to give a special shout out to our crew, executive producer Josh Sibley, our director Derek Badger, cameras are Nick Mudd and Max Hellenmuller. Thanks for making us look and sound so good here on ETV.
That section schedule is starting next Tuesday, which, again, should be 2 games right here for the boys and girls Wildcats, which, we'll both plan on attending. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned, I'll be out of town Thursday, so I'll be one of the viewers paying attention while I'm heading out of town and hoping that the Wildcats take care of business so I can return to action the following week in the section championship.
We will certainly hope that the B team, in your absence, Skip, the B team can somehow cobble together a competent broadcast and competent call. And hopefully, and who knows, maybe you'll even get a shout out from somebody. Punt from Vondahar finds its way up towards towards Teese. Weisendonner checked back in, so we're going to set your lineup again. Weisendonner checked back in. Bray is in. Kosnick, Illyria again on the far side. Took the spot of Horn. I check it. I think maybe they pushed Horn to the middle. I don't know. It's a bit crazy. Oh, they've got Ehrenberg now back at center back. So Ehrenberg and Fall are now your center backs. So not the first time that Ehrenberg has done a little moonlighting back on the center back position. It's always good to have a little bit of depth if something happens. Good defense there by Siljan.
Yeah, great tackle.
Leitenberg on her bad foot sends that towards the middle. It's played away that time by the defense. This falls for Stones. Stones seeing a little bit of the ball here in this half. Bray. Now Kosnick has to clean that one up. Wildcats looking for a way to pick through this sea of Eagles. Seehafer to the outside, Seehafer to the middle. Good defense that time, stops it, and the Wildcats will maybe have to reset. We'll see as Fall steps quickly to that ball. Last game for these Eagles was a 3-1 loss against Lakeville South. And based on what's interesting though is based on what the Eagles have in front of them and where they're at in the section, they might end up a 5 seed, a 6 seed, or a 7 seed. And you say, well, wait a minute, Nathan, how can a team with only one victory get anything other than an 8th seed? Well, because the Burnsville Blaze are probably the 8th seed.
Yes.
And the Apple Valley Eagles, who beat the Blaze, are probably at least a 7 seed. But what's interesting is that the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars, as well as the Park Cottage Grove Wolfpack, are also in the section. And they play in different conferences. They play in different conferences with different levels of opponents. The Eagles, to be fair, as you see, Anna Enning has also checked back in. The Eagles, to be fair, play a murderer's row of teams. Lakeville North, Lakeville South, Eagan, Rosemount, Eastview. I mean, it's the strength of the South Suburban Conference is on display virtually every game, every girls' soccer game, every boys' soccer game. And so you might say, well, how can the Eagles get anything other than, say, a 7 seed with only one win? It's because the other teams that they're up against, the Park Cottage Grove Wolfpack, the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars, play in conferences that aren't nearly as tough, to be frank. And so they're actually ranked a little bit higher, depending on some of the mathematical computations, than teams with more wins.
Yeah, that's a great point. The South Suburban is such a tough conference, and it really gets teams like the Wildcats, the Rosemount Irish, to name a couple. It gets them so ready for their non-conference opponents. It gets them ready for the tough road to get into the state tournament through Section 3 AAA. And we've seen the same section championship 4 consecutive years, and we don't know if we're going to see it again. I mean, Rosemount is not quite as good as they've been historically. The Wildcats are up there, but as you said, Lakeville South is not in our. I mean, well, they're fighting for the conference, but they're not in our section. So really, it's probably Eastview, Rosemount, and Eagan as your top 3 in Section 3. For getting to the state tournament. We could end up seeing a 5th consecutive year of Rosemount and Eagan in that section championship game.
Surely the Lightning would love to rain on that parade. And, of course, the Lightning beat the Rosemount Irish, coming from behind, down 2 goals. Weisendonner with it. Now she spins to the middle. Now she goes right foot looking for, I think that's Enning who's playing in a forward position. Oh, nice ball. That slid in by Weisendonner. I'm not sure that Enning was in an offside position, but the assistant referee was certain as his flag came up. You heard one howl from the stands that said no, but I think you're right, Skip Newton. I think she was just offside. It was a great pass.
I do like how they have her up there. I think this could be an opportunity more to get, make sure all the seniors get in, and maybe there's a couple seniors that are defenders, so they're putting them at their natural positions. But Enning is so familiar with.
Opportunity there for Enning. She feeds Bumpers. Bumpers, big shot against Vonderhaar's knee, goes well out of the attacking third. Wildcats going to get on the end of this. They do. Bumpers lays that off. Horn on the overlap. I believe that's Horn. No, it's Bray. Bray on the overlap. Bray tries to get back to the middle, sends it towards Vandahar, and Wildcats were lurking, but Vandahar with the mitts says no. And we play on.
I had to pause my call there as the Eagan almost had their fourth goal. But to finish the thought on Enning, we're so used to her stepping up aggressively as a defender to become part of that attack. I think it's kind of natural for her to get an opportunity here to be up forward and closer to goal, maybe get her a goal this game. Certainly looks natural to her, even though she might be feeling a little awkward out of position.
Eagles feeding that forward. Here's an opportunity for Weisel to come off her line. It's not a shot as it kind of rolls in on her, but opportunity for her to handle the ball, which is always a good thing. It's one of the challenges with having a really good defense in front of you, Skip, as a goalie, you don't see too many shots. You don't see a lot. You don't often have a lot of opportunities to handle the ball, and I have to think that as a goalie, you want to have a certain number of touches in every game, right? Even if they're not necessarily shots on goal, you want to touch the ball. You want to be part of what's going on, get in the flow. As Enning tries to make a run here, nicely done. Feeds that for Weisendonner. Weisendonner back for Siljan. Siljan feeds that through. Nicely done. Bumpers has an opportunity, but her big touch lets her down. Oh, Courtney Bumpers with a great run. A good feed from Siljan, but didn't quite come off.
Yeah, a bit heavy on that touch. She takes a lighter touch, and that's a great scoring opportunity right in front of goal. Nice job by the goalkeeper for the Eagles coming out and making that play.
And the shots piling up for the Wildcats, officially 13. 2 for the Eagles, and again, I have to look down. It has been 2 shots on goal for the Eagles. Weisendonner has that ball skip by her. So I'm still waiting for my Weisendonner-Weisenberger combination, but I'm sure it'll come here momentarily. This ball comes in for Bumpers. Lays off this time for Kosnick. Kosnick tries to feed that through, but Enning puts that out. A little inside baseball for you, Skip. There have been rumors of Anna Enning trying other positions, like a center defensive mid position or a outside mid position. So there have been the coaching staff has toyed with those ideas in past years. Larry Eagan pitches that forward for Weisendonner. That's trapped down. Opportunity for Enning. Enning's around Vandahar, and Enning scores a goal for Anna Enning from Weisendonner. Nicely done, Anna Enning.
Well, and there's a little sneak peek of what she can do at that forward position. Did a great job of getting there quickly, winning the ball, and beating the goalkeeper clean with the dribble. Then it was an easy finish. Awesome job by Anna Enning.
Well, she is a fantastic athlete and a fantastic player. Kind of runs in the family. Her older sister, of course, Liv, a couple of years ago, graduated last year here for the Wildcats. Unfortunately, had an injury-riddled senior season, but as a junior, scored some goals for these Wildcats. And it's the apple does not fall too far from the tree in that family.
Well, and I wonder too if maybe this is a little peek ahead at next season. With both Leitenberg and Seehafer graduating, Enning will be a senior. Maybe she plays forward next year.
This ball is fed through. Nicely done by Kosnick. Finds Illyria Yin. Illyria Yin attacking. Slides that ball across. Illyria Yin goes to goal. And Illyria Yin scores. I thought that might be a cross, Skip Newton, but instead she does the business, and the Wildcats have 5.
By Anna Enning, the assist, Tommy Weisendonner, the time 36-39.
38th minute, and Illyria Yin cashes in. I did not see who's going to get credit for that assist. It was going to be Kosnick. Kosnick's going to get that.
That was a great ball. Great finish there by Illyria Yin. Eagan dominating as we thought they would. I did not catch the assist on the 4th goal, but just a great half.
Yeah, 4th goal should be Weisendonner. Yeah, Kosnick on the most recent goal. Weisendonner should have the second one because she knocked it down and sent Enning through. The ball came in too Wisen on her, and then she knocked it down and chunked it through. Speaking of which, here she's done it again. Bumpers to the outside. Bumpers, we talked about the speed. She puts her right foot to it, and Vandehar says, not today. I'm going to make you work a little harder than that. Good positioning by Vandehar that time as Bumpers had cleanly beaten the defense. Stones back for fall. And now the Eagles will try to regroup. And again, Skip Newton, you get the sense that the Eagles, they may not have much magic that they can call upon here to create opportunities for themselves with these Wildcats.
Yeah, it's a tough spot here. It's going to be a challenge to keep their energy up, to keep playing hard. You know, it'd be a hats off to the Knutson and the head coach to keep the girls motivated, keep them positive. That is a challenge. I've coached teams in the past where it was one of those seasons where things did not go your way, or you didn't have the talent that you needed to be competitive a lot. And that's a struggle for a coach, because coaches are competitive too, and you really have to focus on the positive. And I'm sure that's what she's doing, trying to build a program over there in Apple Valley.
Free kick comes in towards Wiesendoner, lays off for Siljan. Siljan stabs at it with the right foot to the extent that was going to roll in on its own. Let's call it a shot on goal, although there wasn't much in it. Wildcats in firm control of this one. Just over 40 minutes away from a piece of, if not an outright, South Suburban Conference title. So in any event, barring the most unforeseen of circumstances, Wildcats will be back-to-back conference champions. This ball gets fed forward for Wiesendoner. She gets dumped to the turf, but the Wildcats control. And I don't care who you are, but if you're winning back-to-back conference titles, it matters. It means something.
Yeah, it's a big vote of confidence in the team, right? You come back, and I don't want to say they struggled earlier, but it didn't feel like they were as connected and cohesive as we've seen, certainly from last year's squad that went to the state tournament. But they have been gradually improving as the season has gone on. And again, you want to be playing your best soccer in October, not at the end of August. And I feel like that's what these Wildcats are doing. They've put themselves in a great position heading in next week.
Well, the Wildcats are firmly in control here, 5-0 to the good. It's senior night for these Wildcats. And so we had the ceremony before the game for the Wildcats and their parents, the senior Wildcats and their parents. We'll step aside here at halftime, let Coach Q talk to his team. Eagles will try to regroup and see what they can do to build for sections next week. And we will take a break and be back with the second half here coming up on ETV. Thanks for joining us. School is our venue. It's high school girls soccer here in the great state of Minnesota. Early October, getting ready for section playoffs coming up next week. It's senior night here for the Wildcats. And the Wildcats, as you can see there on your screen, commanding lead over the Apple Valley Eagles. Apple Valley Eagles, of course, a intra-district rival. Although in a handful of sports, they've actually played in different classes. So as an example, the Eagles football team doesn't play in 6A, they play in 5A. So, but the soccer team, soccer boys and girls soccer teams are both in 3A. So the Wildcats, and not only in the conference, but also in the section. So big game here for these Wildcats. You see them, they're just moving over there from the side, just off to the right side of your screen. They're all doing something, some sort of breakdown before they take their positions. We'll set your lineup here. It looks suspiciously like the lineup we had to start the game. So we will call that out as it comes up. I'm joined again by my broadcast partner Skip Newton, and it is senior night, and we'll be talking a little bit about these seniors as they touch the ball and as they are able to make an impact on the game. But Ella Horn has that left back position. Anna Enning often starts there, but it is Horn tonight who has gone most of the way at that left back position. So good to see Ella with an opportunity to get some playing time and kind of work out the kinks, get that speed going as Von der Haar will take this goal kick.
That's the final tune-up for sections, and Wildcats clearly playing well and are ready. I expect the benches will be cleared a little earlier than usual here tonight.
Opportunity inside for Bray. This ball gets pitched out over to the far side, but not really cleared. Comes back to the middle. Now the Eagles will look to break. Good defense by Kron on the other side. Forces the throw. So Weisendonner, Leitenberg, and Seehafer your forwards. Bray, Siljan, and Julstrom your mids. With Horn, Fall, Kron, and Illyria Yin your back line. And of course, Weissel in the goal. Positive and encouraging news for Abigail McGowan, the backup goalie for the Wildcats. The freshman suffered an injury early this season and had surgery. We understand that she's on the road to recovery, and we think there's an excellent chance that maybe next week, she might have an opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, here comes Seehafer, and Seehafer judged to be offside. I'm not sure Seehafer fully agrees with that decision, but as I was saying about Abigail McGowan might have her first varsity action of the season next week in the playoffs. In perhaps in a game against Burnsville or a game against another opponent. Yeah, that's a great point. In a game like this, if it's out of hand, absolutely get her some time. Give Weissel a break. She's, we talked about it in the first half. Tough for her to get really into the game. She's standing around a lot back there, not having to do anything. There's no reason to have her in the second half. If you have a backup goalie, give your backup a little bit of time as well. Isabella Fall taking the goal kick for the Wildcats. Isabella plans to attend a 4-year university and study something in the medical field. Her favorite soccer memory, winning club nationals in Denver last year with her club team. A number of these girls were on that national championship team, so I imagine that if I were to read through this senior handout, I will find that in the favorite moments of many of these girls. That does sound like a good moment. Yes, it does. Ball finds its way back to the middle of the field. It was Corey with it. She feeds it forward, attacking on the far side. Crown with the defense. And a lot of pride with this Wildcat team. The game is, nice cross there. Far side. And near side, that was Schwartz lurking, and Weissel confidently claimed. But the game is certainly out of hand and too far away from the Eagles to have a meaningful chance in this game. But They would love to get on the scoreboard, and the Wildcat defense absolutely wants to keep a clean sheet. And this ball pitched to the side. Eagles didn't have to do that. The Wildcats weren't pressing at the time.
Yeah, a little miscommunication on the back line there. I think that's where you need your goalkeeper to let the defense know, hey, you've got time, turn, make a good play, or just, play it back to the goalkeeper who can see the entire pitch and knows what's going on.
Wildcats stringing together a series of passes, and we've seen situations, Skip, where Wildcats can't string together passes, and that ball's just a little too far for Illyria Yin, unlucky there on the far side. But when the Wildcats string together a series of passes, 5, 6, 7 passes in a row, almost invariably something good happens.
My guess is we're going to see a patient Wildcat team in the second half, maybe more willing to make some extra passes in the middle third and take their time. I don't think they'll be as aggressively pressing for more goals, knowing that this one is comfortably in hand.
Ella Horn with a throw, one of the seniors, one of the Wildcat seniors, her favorite memory, getting an assist in one of her first varsity games and running up to hug her teammates. So Ella plans next year to attend college somewhere warm and study psychology. I don't know about psychology, Skip Newton, but attending college somewhere warm sounds like a good idea to me.
Although I don't know, it's been a really warm fall. Maybe the climate change is opening up some more options for her. But yeah, it sounds like she's going to be heading south. Wish a good luck to her and of course the rest of the seniors.
Get a sense that a lot of these it seems like I wouldn't say trend, but maybe it is a trend. It seems like the trend is, we don't want to go to St. Cloud State or Mankato State so much, or we'd love to be someplace warmer, right? It's UMD or whatever. And it's not to say that kids won't go there, but there seems to be a pronounced increase in the number of kids going to Grand Canyon University or places in Texas or around the southern tier of the United States.
The one thing that I'm confident of, having two kids that have both graduated from Eagan High School and, of course, knowing many, many others, regardless of their choice, they are well prepared for college. Thank you to Eagan High School, so I will do a shout-out there. Just an excellent educational and not only educational system and program, but really just the environment and the experience for these kids really does put them in a position to be successful at whatever they choose to do after high school.
Opportunity here for Weisendonner. She serves this forward. Seehafer with a great opportunity. Goes right into Vandahar. And a collision between Seehafer and Vandahar. And they'll go down. So we've got multiple players down in the penalty area for the Eagles. We also have a player down for the Eagles back at the Eagan Wildcat, what I'll call 40-yard line. Teese went down as a result of a challenge. I think Teese, back where you see that there on your screen, I think she just knocked feet or knocked ankles with another player. Everybody is up in the Eagle penalty area. Now the trainer has to run down to the other end of the field.
So speaking about Seehafer, she looks like she's holding her left wrist, kind of shaking it off. And I think she maybe put that up to her defend herself when she ran into the keeper and maybe just got it, banged hard against something. If I'm Coach Q, this is a sign to me that says, you know what, maybe I need to think about using my bench a little earlier. This game is over. We've already discussed at this point the game is meaningless. It's time to take your star players off and keep them healthy. I think coming out of this healthy is important. We have seen just a year ago, now it was a close game. It was a section championship, but one of the Wildcats' best players, senior Kiera Waldrop at the time, tore her ACL in the section championship, did not get to play in the state tournament. Of course, healthy now and up at Duluth playing soccer, so shout out to her.
Yeah, it's amazing how you keep running into, or you have these players that after they graduate from Eagan High School here that have played for the Wildcats, they find a way to, stay around or aware of what's going on, whether it's Kira Waldrop or others, like Leah Zirkelbach watching us from Iowa. This ball crosses in. Cron plays that away. Illyria Yin. That ball gets pitched towards Weissel. She does a good job of claiming that. Down to her knees, but call it a shot on goal. It's the first one for this half. This half, despite the fact that there have been some shots towards the Eagle goal, there have not been a lot of, now that I'm looking down, I see 32 minutes, the first 8 minutes of this half have been pretty vanilla, Skip.
Yeah, I think the intensity is definitely down a notch. The Wildcats know the game is, in all intents and purposes, over, and it's just finishing things out. Like you said, they're gonna keep a clean sheet if they can. Get that shutout, but you don't necessarily want to pour it on your opponent when you know that they're overmatched, and I see no problem in that at all. You talked about former players staying involved in the soccer, being aware of what's going on with the team. Got a text message from former boys varsity player Tariq Salim after the boys game saying, an interesting stat I'll share with you, that Eric Noel is now the first player in AAA this season to have 10 goals and 10 assists, and now has the most total goals and assists on record for Eagan boys in the last 15 seasons. So an outstanding season for Noel, but not surprised at all that Tarek would know that statistic and pass that on. So thank you to him, and I'll be bringing that up tomorrow night as the boys finish their season against St. Thomas Academy right here on Eagan TV.
Weissendonner tried to test a few theories of physics there. Can matter occupy the same spot? Finds out no, that can't. Opportunity here for Leitenberg. That ball finds its way towards Horn. I think Horn's going to, Horn, hard done by there by the decision. I have to think, I thought for sure that was off of an Eagle. Ella Horn, a senior, would dearly love, she'd love to get a goal as well. She serves this across. Vandahar claims. So Josie Seehafer, her favorite soccer memory, playing in the Youth World Cup in Sweden and beating Norway in Gothenburg Stadium. That's quite a soccer memory, no question.
Yeah, that one tops winning the Nationals in Denver for me. Anytime you go across the pond and play on a pitch over there, that's got to be good stuff.
Inga Jolstrom playing, having a soccer camp with Ajax in the Netherlands. So an opportunity for her in Amsterdam. So a handful of these girls, Illyria Yin going to be playing at St. Mary's. Kosnick will be playing at Augsburg. A number of these girls probably will end up playing some sort of club soccer as Horn knocks that down and controls. Seehafer would like to be playing in college as well. Leitenberg will be running track, perhaps at the Division I level. It remains to be seen, but Leitenberg with, as we've seen so many times, so much energy and so much ability to get forward, in a foul here against Jolstrom will create a free kick for the Eagles.
Been a clean game. I mean, I only tallied 3 combined fouls in the first half. I think this is the first in the second half. That is nice to see. Things staying clean despite the lopsided score.
Free kick comes in towards Weissel. It's spilled. Opportunity for the Eagles, and it goes begging as the ball finds its way over the end line. Weissel spilled that ball, and the rebound came to an Eagle. She shot it towards goal, but it went off one of her teammates and over the end line. Lucky there for the Wildcats to preserve that clean sheet. Again, the outcome of the game, wins and losses, certainly, that ship has sailed, but Weisel and this defense definitely want to keep that clean sheet.
Yeah, it's another one that she wasn't able to handle clean the initial shot. So, again, something that you would like to see.
Oh, here's a
more
great
under
flick
control.
on by Kosnick. It falls for Leitenberg. Leitenberg's got trouble on her back, and Vonderhaar off her line. If she had stayed back, Leitenberg was going to absolutely have a scoring opportunity. It's the second time that Kosnick has set up one of her teammates in beautiful fashion. So Mia Kosnick with a nice foot, finding the right weight on these through balls.
Yeah, that first touch from Leitenberg just a little heavy. Otherwise, she probably would have finished that one. We've seen her with one goal already tonight, looking for number 2.
Eagles attacking. We've had some substitutions. We'll set your lineup here momentarily as Riley Stones steps in. Here's an opportunity for the Eagles. They flash into the penalty area. Good rally defense that time by Ella Horn. Courtney Bumpers has checked in. Leitenberg thought there maybe it was a teammate over there, but she gets it back anyway. So Bumpers has checked in. Ehrenberg has checked in. The aforementioned Kosnick has checked in. Riley Stones playing defense as well. So an all-senior lineup right now for the Wildcats. Horn dances around a defender, sends that ball down the line, and unlucky as no one was in a position to make a run. Bumpers traps that down, tries to send it through. Doesn't quite come off. Kosnick steps to that well, but then the ball goes into touch and off of the Eagles, so an Ella Horn throw. Kosnick with a little flick. Boy, that was a nice flick of the head. Ball's going to find its way over the end line, as unfortunately his Bumpers was shielded off. This gives us a chance to mention that the Eagan Wildcat boosters, boys and girls booster clubs, would like to thank their platinum sponsors for this season: and Ansari's Chips Pickleball Club, Eagan Hockey Association, Twin Cities Orthopedics, the Willie team at Edina Realty, and Wave Soccer. Thank you for supporting boys and girls soccer here in 2024 and helping us have a successful season. And Ava Leitenberg laughing to herself, or at least maybe chuckling to herself, as she gets fouled. And she'll take this free kick as the Eagles set up a wall. And Leitenberg now says, I'd like my 10 yards, please. The referee says, you were allowed your 10 yards. As I think you mentioned earlier in the boys' game, Skip, it's a bit baffling that players struggle with knowing where 10 yards is on a football field where it's marked.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of angle here, but still, logic would dictate a little bit of math, a little bit of geometry that you need to be farther away than where they were at. Gamesmanship, of course.
Gamesmanship, of course, yes. Not quite as much gamesmanship as taking a giant drink out of your water bottle between every goal kick when you're ahead by a goal late in the second half or in the first half.
Who would ever do that?
That might be the biggest time waste I've ever seen. It was an epic. I'll never forget as long as I call games. Watching that goalie, was it Lakeville South? Do you remember which team it was?
I don't remember the team. I just remember
Prior Lakeville South. It was something like that, and I'll have to go back and look in the archives. But every goal kick, they were ahead by a goal, and every goal kick, he went back and pulled off a big drink of water out of a water bottle. And Ella Horn with a little bit of an some extra English there. A few Apple Valley supporters are wondering if maybe there should have been a foul called, which would have been a penalty. Weisel comes off her line to claim it.
Yeah, some of our college buddies.
So that was, I have to say, taking a giant pull out of your water bottle between every goal kick is epic time wasting. Kosnick not wasting any time getting the ball back to Stones. Stones dances by one defender, slides it back for Kosnick. Kosnick picks out Horn. Nice run on the far side. She's got some green grass. She'll slide that forward, and Bumpers is in an offside position, and I think the assistant referee got that one right, Skip.
Yeah, it was close, but I was watching her make the run, and she was looking at the ball not looking over her right shoulder, and that's part of the challenge that you have as a forward making a diagonal run when you're going to the near side. There's so much going on behind you that you're unaware of. You really have to have your head on a swivel to make sure that you're still onside.
Oh, good 1-2 there with Seehafer and Bumpers. It didn't come off, but the way Bumpers just laid off for Seehafer there and let Seehafer chip that forward. Nicely done. This ball gets popped over the top. Eagles have to rally. See if they're able to bring that up the near sideline. They do. Kosnick over quickly. Nice job there by the Eagles feeding that forward. Jolstrom, Kosnick, Horn. Leitenberg slides that towards Bumpers. Check it, that's Stones. Excuse me, that's Riley Stones who's moved into a forward position. Opportunity for Seehafer, back for Stones. Lays off for Bumpers. Bumpers, left foot, shot straight on. Well worked that time. Nice to see Riley Stones moving up from the back line to have a chance to try to put one in the net.
Yeah, that's absolutely the strategy here is you get these seniors into the game that don't have a varsity goal and give them a shot. I mean, this is absolutely when you try to do that. I love the real opportunity that they've been given here in this contest.
Fall pitches that forward towards Leitenberg. Fall says, I'm going to try it one more time. It's blocked again. Now battle for Seehafer in the middle. Fall steps around one foul. Little advantage play here as Bumpers finds it on the far side. Now she's going to flash the speed. Watch this go. Watch Courtney Bumpers down the right side. She stretches the legs. She feeds it for Riley Stones. Riley Stones gets it on her right foot. Defense cuts in front of her. Stones not giving up. And I think she's going to earn the throw, and she will. Love to see Riley Stones get one if she can. But Courtney Bumpers, she's, like I said, Skip, she has straight line speed. She's very much Flash-like in that regard.
Yeah, when she's got open space in front of her and she can get that ball in front and she gets those legs moving, those long legs moving, they move quick. It looks like a sprinter. That was fun to watch.
Big throw here coming up for the Wildcats. Finds its way into Stones, who plays that off for, I think that's Bray, and the ball goes into touch. Or do we have an offside? We do have an offside violation here against the Wildcats. Wildcat Boys and Girls Booster Club would also like to thank their gold sponsors: Birchwood Dental, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, Coldwell Banker, Rami Korma, Dermatology Consultants, Eagan Arms, Public House, Football, the Eagan Football Association, Escape With Us Vacations, Homestead Auto, Salvo Soccer Club, Teresa's Triple Diamond Sports Cars and Collectibles, and the Urgency Room. Thank you so much for your support of Wildcat Athletics and these soccer teams.
Well, the Booster Club thanks the sponsors and it helps to make the program successful. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Booster Club for asking me back for another season. I thoroughly enjoy calling both boys and girls soccer with you, Nathan. It's one of my favorite times of the year because of this, and it's because the Booster Club continues to ask us back. So thank you to them, and thank you to you for doing that, and of course thank you to Eagan TV. It's great to be a part of this broadcast.
Yeah, being part of this broadcast is really an honor. It's to be the voice of Wildcat Athletics, or the voice of a certain team, as Weisendonner sprays that wide. So Weisendonner's checked in. Let's see who else we have on the field. Kosnick, Weisendonner, Bray. It is a all-senior crew, as Ehrenberg has also checked in. So virtually all of these girls, to my statistics, virtually all of these girls do have a varsity goal. Attack on the far side. This is Bumper. She slides that in towards the middle. It's played away that time by the defense, and Siljan will watch that go into touch on the far side. I think the only two seniors that do not have a varsity goal are Stones and perhaps Ella Horn. Horn not out there right now. Of course, she has spent a majority of the game out there as this ball comes in towards Leitenberg. She's going to trap this down. Feed it for Stones. Stones, left foot, almost had it. Now she goes right foot. Oh, and a great save. Vondahar had to get that right. But Stones with a nice little snapshot with the right foot, and she earns the corner.
Yeah, she pivoted and fired that one off and got a lot on it. That is not easy to do. Really well executed. A great save by Apple Valley.
Absolutely brilliant. So Weisendonner with her left foot, a left foot that last year beat the Rosemount Irish in the Section 3 3A finals. She'll put her left foot to this and square it, try to creep it into the back of the net. Comes in towards the penalty area. Kosnick with a header. Goes wide. Illyrian giving chase, and that'll be put into touch by the Eagles. The Wildcats with a 5-0 lead at half. As Illyrian puts that in towards Vonderhaar, and she confidently claims. Wildcats with a 5-0 lead at half wouldn't, again, not necessarily wanting the Wildcats to ever run up the score on anybody, but it'd be nice if they got at least one here in the second half.
Yeah, it's not from a lack of opportunities. They've had opportunities. They just haven't quite finished like they did in the first half, but not nearly as many, that's for sure. I mean, the first half, I think, finished with about 16 shots on goal. According to the scoreboard, they're now at 20, which is matching what my stats have as well. So just 4 so far in the second half. Of course, you know, the intensity doesn't need to be there, you know, up 5-0, and they know that, but they're just kind of playing things out.
Siljan is actually playing the outside back at the right back position. Big step there by Stones. Nicely done. Oh, and a foul against Riley Stones. So a little bit unlucky there for Riley, as she's adjudged to have committed the act. Eagles with a free kick from their own half. This drifts down to the edge of the penalty area. Isabella Fall using her head, continuing her campaign for all-state status. I have to say that Isabella Fall has been a stalwart defender for this Wildcat team that has been so good so much of the year, and their defensive record is, as you might imagine, Skip, is sparkling. And the Wildcats with a conference title, at least a share of the conference title, if not the outright conference title. And then a Section 1, a top seed in the section, and a chance to go back to state as Stones breaks, Bumpers around Vonderhaar, nicely done, and Courtney Bumpers scores for the Wildcats. That was the goal that we were looking for here in this second half, and Bumpers cashes in for the Cats.
We saw the speed there by Bumpers. I mean, she just came flying in there, beat the goalkeeper, finished with the layup. Minute number 65.
Yeah, Courtney, it's okay to smile. It's okay to smile. You just scored. You should feel good about that. She looks like she just got a B plus on a chemistry test. Courtney, it's okay to smile. It's senior night and you scored. Congratulations, young lady. So Triplet has checked in. So a few of the underclassmen now checking in for the Wildcats. As Anna Enning has checked in. Tess Triplet has checked in for her first action of the night.
Scoring for the Wildcats, number 17, Courtney Bumpers.
Bumpers cashes in.
10,
Weisendonner with an assist.
65th minute, the time of the goal is 64 minutes, 34 seconds.
Nicely done that time by the Wildcats. I have to say, what impressed me the most about that goal by Courtney Bumpers was she maintained her composure. The goalie was out, there was contact. Bumpers didn't lose her composure, didn't lose her focus, and she managed to tap it in around the goalie. Just an excellent effort.
Yeah, your best finishers in soccer are the ones that, when they get those opportunities, they maintain their composure. They stay calm. They don't panic. They don't rush things. They just keep it cool and put the shot where it needs to go. They finish that opportunity. That's exactly what we saw from Bumpers there, and that's typically what we see from Leitenberg and Seehafer as well. I mean, they've been doing it all season long.
Yeah, speaking of which, the Wildcats, I was mentioning this before Bumpers went on her breakaway, but as Stones lays this off for Weisendonner wouldn't mind cashing in one here as she plays catch with Bray before it's intercepted. But the Wildcats will have a number of all-conference honorees, very well deserved, and I imagine they will have some potential all-state honorees as well. Lightenberg will certainly be in that conversation. I imagine Fall will be in that conversation. Triplet gives chase. That ball's going to find its way towards the sideline. I think that's going to get into touch, and it does. Left side of your screen, Yin, looking for Stones. Oh, Yin tried to feed that through. Nice foot skills there by Angelina Illyria Yin, but it didn't quite come off as Triplet had moved, and this ball somehow stays in. And Ehrenberg will have to deal with it. Ehrenberg pitches that over. Everyone finds Triplet. Now Weisendonner. Weisendonner feeds this forward for Bumpers, but Vonderhaar is going to get to that first.
Right idea there. Fed that one through, but a nice job by Vonderhaar off her line, making sure that Bumpers with her speed didn't get to that ahead of time.
So the section seedings will be worked out this weekend. I think the meeting is actually on Sunday. This weekend coming up. The Wildcats will be the #1 seed here in Section 3A. And they will be taking on, almost certainly, barring the most unusual of circumstances, the Burnsville Blaze, who have struggled this season to be competitive. Not for lack of effort, just hasn't come off for them. And speaking of not coming off, the Wildcats will watch this go over the end line for a goal kick. So the Wildcats will be the #1 seed. They'll play Burnsville in the first round next Tuesday night here at Wildcat Stadium. You'll be able to catch everything here on ETV or on the YouTube channel, as well as, well, we'd love to see a big crowd out here for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. The 4 seed is likely going to be the Hastings Raiders. As Eastview and Rosemount are probably going to be your 2-3 seed in some combination as Westerman checks in.
And the significance of that, as we've talked about, the top 3 seeds, Eagan, Eastview, Rosemount, or Eagan, Rosemount, Eastview, whatever order that 2 and 3 goes. The significance there is the Wildcats aren't going to have to play both Rosemount and Eastview. That they will meet first. Eagan, being the #1 seed, will get the 8 seed and then get the winner of that 4-5. So it's nice that they've earned that 1 seed, which earns them an easier path back to the state tournament.
Evie Burke has checked in for the Wildcats. Ellie Westerman has checked in, and I think that's Courtney Bumpers, and she's offside by, let's say she's so far offside she might be in Ramsey County.
Yeah, that's the defensive end where they have to blow the whistle because he's got an unabated shot at the quarterback.
Yes. So they've got Westerman playing an outside back. They've got Anna Enning playing a center back. So Sienna Rozga has checked in for the Wildcats. So seniors have had their fun in terms of, most of the seniors have had their fun. A little bit of work here for the underclassmen to finish this out, with a few seniors still on the pitch to maybe get a first varsity goal. Anna Enning dances so smoothly between the defenders. Lays off for Sienna Rozga. Rozga back for Burke. And so if you are a Wildcat fan, you're seeing a little bit of the future here as Triplet has the ball. He's going to try to send and release. Bumpers doesn't quite come off.
Bumpers was making that diagonal run in front of the defender. If Triplet could have gotten that through, it was there. She had space to run into.
Yeah, good tackle by Rozga. Sees the ball find its way back towards the front. Weisendonner chips that forward. Bumpers will give chase far side. Again, running time here with a 6-0 lead. So if the Wildcats do score again, the clock will continue to run. So as you were saying, Skip, about the section playoffs, you're absolutely correct that the section final, let's assume that the Wildcats take care of business in the semifinals, which you would imagine that they would certainly be favored to do, being a #1 seed. The Wildcats would then play either probably the 2 seed or 3 seed, depending on how that turns out, which means 1 game against either Eastview or Rosemount versus, say, 2 games. And a reminder to everybody here who catches us here on ETV as Triplet knocks that down, sends it over for either stones or bumpers, but it goes wide to Vandahar. But a reminder that there will be a boys and girls section playoff game, as both the Eagan boys, of course, are going to get the #1 seed in Section 3-3A as well. So you'll have 2 games back-to-back, much like we do during the regular season, one at presumably 5 o'clock and one presumably at 7 o'clock or thereabouts. I think the times can be a little bit different sometimes in the state playoffs, maybe starting at 5:30 or something like that, but check local listings for show times.
Yeah, we'll definitely be on social media for that. And of course, the sections mean no more games ending in a draw. So if they finish the 80 minutes tied, they will play 2 full 5-minute extra time sessions, and then if they're still tied after that, it will be a shootout, or kicks from the mark, I believe is the technical term.
Kicks from the mark is actually the laws of the game call them kicks from the mark.
All right.
Which seems a bit, I don't know, it sounds a bit continental for me. Shootout seems a bit more Wild West, maybe a bit more Americanized. Weisendoner tries to slide that through. She's dispossessed. Important thing here for the Wildcats: A, keep the clean sheet; B, stay injury-free. Weisendoner serves that forward. Here's an opportunity for Triplet, just a little too close to Vandahar, who comes off and claims.
So I believe it's the Tuesday quarterfinal, Thursday semifinal, and then if they advance to the finals, the next Tuesday for that section championship, with the state tournament to start after that. Hopefully a return to the state tournament for the girls. They were there a season ago. And then on the boys' side, if they should get to the state tournament, the last time they were there, one of the players was their head coach, Josue Butli. So he has not been shy in reminding his teams of the past year or two of that fact. So I'm sure he's reminded the current squad of that.
So Ella Horn has checked back in, another player looking for a varsity goal. This ball falls for Weisendoner. Weisendoner trying to serve that forward. Bumpers in an offside position.
Well, and you can see that they've put Ella Horn up close because they're trying to get her that goal. And I'm pretty sure I can see she does not feel as comfortable there as she does at her outside back position. She's not quite sure where to go. Just trying to figure it out, and that is a challenge for players when you're used to playing the same position, for an entire season, sometimes multiple seasons in a row. You get a real feeling of comfortness playing that spot, and all of a sudden when you're asked to go somewhere else, you can feel out of sorts. Like, I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to go with this, and that it can be a little scary and kind of exciting too, but it's fun to watch. Hopefully she gets that opportunity here.
Bumpers around the defense to the outside. Horn lurking in the middle. Bumpers crosses. That's going to be over the end line for a corner. So corner opportunity here for the Wildcats. Weisendoner is on the pitch. So imagine Kylie Weisendoner will likely take this one, since it's going to be an in-swinger with her strong left foot. Ella Horn will take her spot just at the edge of the goal area. So Weisendoner will try to bend this in. Love to see Weisendoner. Wouldn't hurt my feelings to see Weisendoner get another one. She's been a faithful servant for 4 years for this varsity team, along with Kron. This ball finds Burke on the back line. Gets played to the outside. Horn giving chase. And Ella Horn wins that ball. Nicely done. Feeds it forward. Now she heads to the middle, and you hear people screaming, Ella, get up there. This ball lays off for Bumpers. Bumper serves it across, but it's just too flat that time. This ball gets pitched in towards Bray. Somebody in blue needs to get on the other end of this to help set up an opportunity. Siljan battles with her equal number 12 for the Eagles. Kurth. Bumper's cross is blocked. Falls for Siljan. Silgen for triplet. Triplet, fancy foot skills. Weisendonner inside, finds Horn. Bray was in the way there. A little miscommunication. Unlucky that time for the Wildcats, for the Wildcats senior, who certainly would love to score on senior night. But I have to tell you, Skip, with probably three more home games, including one section quarterfinal, which may get lopsided pretty quickly. I imagine Ella Horn might have a chance to cash in that game.
Yeah, it's an excellent point that game should be as dominant a performance for the Wildcats as what we're seeing here this evening. So hopefully these girls continue to play well, continue to stay healthy, they stay sharp, because things would get a little more serious a week from tomorrow, next Thursday, in the semifinals.
Here's Horn patrolling the outside. She's going to take on the defense. She slides across. She earns the corner. Nicely done. Ella Horn says, okay, let's crank this up again. And Macy Bray's going to trot forward to try to take this one. Or check that. Is that... Yeah, it's Macy Bray, the senior, who is going to come forward for that one. So an opportunity here with just under 2 minutes to go for the Wildcats. A comprehensive victory here against the Eagles as this ball finds its way to the middle, and it's in the back of the net. It's off of Tess Triplett's, the back of Tess Triplett's head. She turned. We don't have a replay capability. I would love to see that replay. She scored off her ponytail, Skip Newton.
I wasn't sure if it hit the back of her head or if it hit her back, but it was she definitely was not facing the goal, and it hit somewhere behind her. A great goal by Triplett, and really what that proves is something that we've said so many times. When that ball is delivered so close to the goal, all you have to do is get a touch on it, and if it's headed towards goal, you can get a score.
Speaking of, here's an opportunity for the Wildcats. Bumpers, slides it across for Horn. Horn cashes in, and Ella Horn gets that varsity goal on senior night. Ella Horn, nicely done. She's being judged to be offside. I have no earthly idea how that's possible, only because Horn was certainly beyond any defender, but certainly she was behind the ball.
It sure looked like the ball would keep her onside there. I shocked by that call. That's unfortunate.
I mean, Bumpers got that right. She took it deep, played it certainly looked to be negative across the box for Horn. And Horn cashed in confidently as seconds run off here for the Wildcats and Eagles. A little bit of controversy. It's still a resounding victory, 7-0 to the Wildcats. Eagles left to pick up the pieces and get ready for section playoffs. But Ella Horn perhaps cruelly denied. We'll have to go back and look at the replay there, Skip, but perhaps cruelly denied by the assistant referee's flag. In any event, the Wildcats with a comprehensive victory here against the Eagles, setting themselves up for it's certainly a share of the conference title. Last update from Lakeville South. Lakeville North 1, Lakeville South 0 second half. So it may be their title outright, depending on the results from Lakeville tonight.
That would be nice to see. Regardless, like you said, they are at least co-conference champions, so the defending conference champions, and they're section 3 number 1 seed. A great finish to the season. They are playing the best soccer they played all year. This is exactly what they want to do heading into the section next week.
Breaking news: the Wildcats are the sole champions of the South Suburban Conference for 2024. Lakeville North has defeated Lakeville South, meaning the Wildcats have won the South Suburban Conference girls soccer title outright this year, as South falls 1-0 to the North Panthers. So the North Panthers helping the Wildcats out a little bit, but of course North certainly would love to pin a loss on South in anything. So the Wildcats are the conference champions. They don't know that yet as they're doing the gritty down there on the field and getting ready for their big picture. But the Wildcats, a comprehensive victory tonight. They've stayed healthy. They stayed sharp. They kept a clean sheet. Skip, Last regular season game here for these Wildcats. Take us away.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed to do. They took care of business, and they need to continue to do that. Of course, they've got, a few days, 6 days until the conference conference quarterfinal, or the section set quarterfinal, excuse me, most likely, like we said, against Burnsville. So another game to get sharp. Congratulations to the Wildcat girls for once again winning the conference championship.
For my broadcast partner, Skip Newton, and award-winning ETV crew, and the 2024 South Suburban Conference champion, Eagan Wildcats girls team, thank you for joining us. Final score tonight, Eagan 7, Apple Valley 0. Good night, everybody.